Your girl Neveah. We are
Hold on, we
here.
about to start here. Three,
Oh,
two,
okay.
one.
What's up, world? What's up? It's your girl Neveah. We are here with the Hustle and Brand Show. Yes, woo, woo. It's Thursday. We got through almost the whole week. Tomorrow is Friday. Yes, yes. So the weekend starts for some, for others, not so much, and that's okay. So I hope everyone had an amazing, amazing week. I'm gonna take this jacket off, guys. It's a little warm in here. Because I had a very productive, wonderful week. Everything seems to just be, just flowing, and I'm so grateful. I always talk about being in a constant state of gratitude, right? So I'm definitely in that this week as well. It has just been nonstop in so many good ways. So I always like to start the shows, of course, Neveah the Brand, Hustle and Brand Show. I always like to start the show giving shout outs, saying hello to everybody, just wishing everybody an awesome day, awesome week, awesome weekend. Because, we need that sometimes. We just need a little encouragement, right? We just got to make sure we're all right. Check-in moment for everybody. So that's always my first go-to with you guys, just making sure you guys are first and foremost here with us, and secondly, you guys are doing all right, had an awesome week. So I love to start out shouting out everybody that contributes to little old me, contributes to the things I see around me, contributes to what's happening, in the community, and in my everyday happenings. I just love to shout out and make sure everybody gets that shine on them that deserves that shine. Not just for the week, but just for whatever they do, how they do, when they do. All right? So first and foremost, I always like to shout out my girl Cammie, the host of this awesome platform. And I always like to give some plugs it for the CMVA award show. Guys, this year it was amazing. And hopefully we'll have it next year, the year after, the year after, the year after, and it'll just continue to get huge and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Hopefully we'll get that thing out of the States, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, then out of, whatever next state we go to, whether it be Atlanta or wherever it is, and then out of this country, right? That's what we want, global effects.
Put me to work.
So that's right. We want work. And what is that kind of work called, though? Because we're following our passion, right? So that's not really work. So that I'm speaking it into existence right now, right? So shout out to Cammie, CMVA 107.5 FM. It's an honor to be here. Shout out to all my co-hosts, my cohorts. You guys rock. This is an amazing platform. So I hope you guys utilize and get to your benefit, to your awesomeness. Because if you're on the show, you're some type of awesome in some way, shape, or form. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in. Shout out to my sponsors, Charlie's Angels Beauty Bar, No Grease Barbershop. Shout out to True Choice Enterprise. Shout out to Lace by Lemon, Neveah the Brand, and Anodyne Cleaning, Premier Cleaning Services. Those are all of my sponsors. Thank you guys for all you do. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you. Couple of drops we got for today. We were out in the city today, man. We was picking random people, just singing to people today for some content. Just getting out, just being present, and it was so awesome. We had some great feedback. I don't know, I'm sure some of them might be following right now on the IG Live, because I was talking this show up today. I was not only talking this show up, I was talking up our shows that we have coming. January, Charlotte will be back, so I need you guys to be in the building January 20th. Here are the tickets. You guys DM me. These are the early bird tickets. There's not a whole lot of these, so we're doing these early birds for $10, guys. $10, all right? Because these are going to go up. They're going to go up. So, guys, hit the DM, NEVEAH_OTR. Again, IG is NEVEAHOTR. All right, _OTR, I'm sorry. Make sure you're hitting us up, or hit the Gmail, NeveahOTR1@gmail, and someone will respond to you, okay? We'll get you your ticket. We'll get you your tickets if that's what you'd like. But remember, January 20th, we are here. We're coming home from our tour, so it's going to be an awesome show, and I hope you guys are able to attend. Also, shouting out to Atlanta. We'll be in Atlanta as well. So shout outs to 4K Bar, Restaurant and Bar. They're going to be hosting our event for us and letting us come in and utilize their space. So guys, we're going to be all over. So just stay tuned, keep up with us, and just make sure that you're showing love. Make sure that you're tuning into this show, CMVA 107.5 FM. Make sure you're tuning in, guys, okay? What's our new, we have a new app. Aren't we on a new app or something? Tell me where we should be.
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yes, you guys, download the Odyssey app, okay? And follow us on the Odyssey app. Make sure that you're following the show, all right? It's on that app. Download it and make sure you're following us, okay? So you can get all of the new information, what Cammie's doing, what the CMVA is doing as a whole, not just as the radio show, but any showcases that might be coming up, anything we got on the lineup, we want you guys to be a part of, all right? We're looking for sponsorships. We're looking for all kinds of stuff. So you guys, vendors, all of that. We want to work with you guys. We want to hear from you. So make sure you're tapping in, okay? It's a wide open market out here. We got to work together, right? It takes a village. So I got all my shout outs out for today. Again, thank you guys for all you do. Everybody that I shouted out, thank you for all you do. I'm looking forward to continuing to working with you and making sure that we're growing each other's businesses, right? Because it takes a village. Last week we had some topics that we touched on, so we're definitely going to dive into that today as well. We'll touch on that maybe mid-show. Because there's definitely some things that I want to talk about that I experienced throughout the week that I think a lot of us might be able to take something from. So, and you know me, I'm always about sharing, because sharing is caring. And I definitely want to give some of these nuggets and some of the things that I've come across this week to kind of help anyone that needs that help, you know. So let's first and foremost, let's talk about this awesome day that we had out in the city. Because I ran into some great businesses. I ran into some great people that just are in the community really doing some great things. So I was at Hugo Smoothie Bar. I think that's the name of it. The Hugo Bar. Actually, it's the Hugo Bar. I'm so sorry. Hugo Bar in Noda. They are amazing. And their smoothies are amazing. And their drinks, they have these organic drinks that they make from scratch, of course, all natural. And they are amazing. So you guys go check them out. My favorite is the chamomile mix. That's my favorite. So you guys go check them out. Hopefully we'll be able to get working with them as a sponsor for our events and things like that. So again, another great spot in the city. You guys go check them out. But about the day we had, me and my camera crew, we were out just kind of, you know, trying to get some content, trying to get some things built up for this tour because we've got some great momentum happening right now. And so we're just trying to, you know, stay on top of that, stay on top of being great. I know you guys have been seeing these CDs around the city. Soon we'll be dropping some more of these CDs, some full-length CDs, and then we'll also be dropping CD players with them. So Neveah, the brand CD players, will be coming with the CD. So we've got a lot of great things coming. But again, in the city, so we reached out to the Hugo Bar, and I mean, just some amazing people there. And it's so crazy because I've been up and down that area. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the North Davidson area, but that's where I was in the Noda area today, and right by the Evening Muse and the neighborhood theater, and just, you know, introducing myself, meeting some different people. I've been in that area a lot. I've actually done some other shows in that area. So it was awesome to kind of be out there, not as an artist per se, but as a business, you know, and as a product. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have to remember. We're selling ourselves, right? We're selling our visions, and that includes us a lot of the time. So that's why I'm a little bit more dolled up than usual today because we were out doing a lot of the shooting and shaking hands and things like that. And I just learned a valuable lesson, you know. I didn't even really talk about, you know, my main shows and things like that were happening, but people were really just engaged by just seeing what we were doing. Just seeing that we had a camera out, seeing that we were taking, you know, footage. They were just actually interested in what the footage was about and what we were actually doing. So I say that to say, sometimes, you know, and I am not that type of person. I'm very uncomfortable in those types of settings, just being honest. I don't know why, but I'm very, I'm an introvert. I'm not so much an extrovert. But being in that setting and just being uncomfortable, it really helped open up some doors. And that I wasn't even anticipating. I was honestly dreading today because I hate doing content. I hate doing content creation because it's time consuming, and it makes you step outside of what you would normally do or be in order to get that content, in order to get it. So I was just all over the place. And I really got some great feedback today. I got some great opportunities today. So I say all that to say, guys, be uncomfortable, man. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's the lesson that I took from today. Like, I almost didn't do it. I almost was like, nah, I'm not even gonna press myself to try to get that done. I have already had a lot going on today, so I wasn't gonna push myself to try, to get that done too, because it is time consuming. But man, I'm so glad that I let Laced by Lemon touch this here face, get me beat right quick, get me some makeup done, and got this hair laid, and just went on out. And again, it was amazing. Again, shout out to Hugo Bar. You guys are amazing. I'm going to definitely be speaking your praises. Thank you guys for letting us use the space. I mean, we just walked up there. We literally just walked up there and just said, hey guys, we're just shooting some stuff. Would you mind if we, use your logo, use your stuff, some free promotion? And they were awesome. So again, shout out to the Hugo Bar. You guys, please stop by there. They're in Noda. Amazing people, amazing product. Check them out. So again, moral of the story for today, step outside of that comfort. Be uncomfortable as you can be. Let that happen. Let that uncomfortability, be your foundation, to help you see, okay, I'm uncomfortable right now, but what could this present me? What could this give me in the long run? I would have never known a possible sponsor could come of that. I would have never known, I would have never known that unless I go out and do it. So shout out to Reese, my videographer. He was so awesome. Got some great interview questions in. So you guys are going to be seeing some of the content soon. Make sure you're staying locked in with us, both here on Thursdays, but also throughout the week when I'm just dropping little tidbits on my Instagram, Facebook. Just make sure you're tuning in, because there's a lot of great stuff coming. And I'm hoping that there will be some things that can help you too, in the interim while you're trying to get, to the next level in whatever it is you're doing. Whether it be artistry or, again, business. I hope that whatever I'm doing can be a precipice to help you get to that point that you want to be at as well. And again, you guys can always DM me if you have any questions. If there are reasonable questions that I can answer right away, I definitely will. All right. So, two, I wanted to also talk about today just being available. That was one of the things that really helped me today, too. Was allowing myself to be available. I'm in such a hectic space right now. I don't know if you guys are in that realm, but physically and mentally, I am in a very hectic space. And I'm definitely not complaining. I'm so grateful because I love a challenge. But when you're traveling a lot, then you're trying to plan things and get things in order for your travel, it can be a lot. And I've had some great people step up with me these past few weeks and just really show me that they want to do some of the same things I'm doing and allowing me to kind of lead them. So shout out to those who are falling in line with some of the things that I'm doing and then allowing me to fall in line with some of the things that they're doing. I mean, I think that's amazing, and I hope we can get some more of that. That's what this June 20th show is all about. That's what this is about, coming together brand-wise. As far as music is concerned, definitely coming together for that. I would love for some artists to get together and do a song for the show. That would be lit, just for that show. That gives you an opportunity to not only promote yourself, that gives you an opportunity to perform the song, right? And then that also gives you an opportunity to be a part of the branding of the actual events, because maybe we'll take that song and use it for our promo videos, use it for, so you got to think outside the box. And definitely, if you have something, you're thinking of something, hit us up so we can be a part, and so that you can be a part of what we're doing. Because again, that's what this is all about. I definitely got some great feedback in regards to some artists that are doing their own thing as well. And that's one thing I'm seeing too in the city, that now that I'm kind of getting out and being able to kind of talk to people and really connect with people on that physical level, shaking hands and actually physically talking to each other, not over Instagram or not over Facebook that we get so used to doing. But a lot of people are doing events now. A lot of people are hosting events. A lot of people are into comedy. The comedy scene here is really getting huge from what I'm seeing and hearing. And so I'm getting ready to start implementing that into some of the events too. Let's get some comedy acts out here. Who doesn't want to laugh? The vibes are already, at that type of level where we're just bringing that good feeling music. So of course, if we're bringing good vibes, we want to bring some laughter with that too, of course. So I'm all about the comedians, linking up with some comedians. So if you're watching, or if you're out there and you're a comedian, hit us up. Let us know what you do, how you do, when you do, so we can maybe come catch a show and maybe, talk about adding you on to something that we're doing. It's, again, all about networking. Your network is your net worth. So I'm definitely trying to elevate from this year beyond. I'm not putting a stamp on it. I'm not putting a time frame on it, but I'm definitely trying to elevate within every goal, that I set. And I want to be able to bring that elevation to other people's lives as well. And I think the best way to do that is through example, right? Showing is leading, and leading is showing. And so definitely trying to be that in every way, shape, and form, and just create the opportunity that I want to see, and being able to create that for other people, not just myself. And so hopefully, in the long run, we can have, say, 4 or 5 artists, creating events, and then maybe we can pool those events together at some point. Like I've heard of the Sparks Festival. I think that was last Friday, and from what I heard, it was a wonderful event. That's a newer event and a newer festival here in Charlotte. But from what I heard, it was wonderful. And I saw some of the clips from it, some of the recap videos. It was A1 talent from what I could see. It looked like there was some great vendors out there. So that's the kind of stuff that I think if we can work together to bring maybe like 4 or 5 other great people, business-minded, savvy individuals, artists as well, that can bring their platform to another platform, because I think that's what it's about too, not just expecting to grow off of somebody else's, platform that they already have, but having something to bring to that platform too, right? Having something to bring to the table, because if one person is doing all the work, then that's really not your work, right? It's really not anything you can claim, right? Because you sat back and let somebody else do that, so that's really not you doing that. So we want to be able to be accountable. And we talked about that last week too, like who we work with, how we are going to make ourselves accountable for the things that we want to see, and not just, doing business with people just because they say they do business, right? Because that's how a lot of people, get set back a little bit in their goals and in their journeys, just, relying on other people in a sense where maybe they shouldn't be relying on, others. I had a great conversation with Miss Cammie today about that very thing, utilizing your own resources. And one way to do that is finding other, avenues. So, prime example, she was looking for a videographer. She couldn't find one that suited her need at the moment. So what did she do? Find some software that can video and record, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to be proactive, and then once we figure out what we're being proactive about, go get that. Go figure it out, and then let that be your solution for that moment. It doesn't mean it has to be long term, but at least you have something for the moment, right? That's allowing you to do what you need to do within your process. And what do we always talk about within our processes here? About what it takes, in order to withstand the process, and then what you need to apply to the process in order to get through it. Because it is a lot, it's strategy. And we talk about that all the time as well. Chess, not checkers. Just making sure that we're being strategic about our moves and not just out here willy-nilly. I talk about that with you guys all the time because I'm a prime example of that burnout, allowing myself to get burned out and then having to revamp myself because I had to take a minute to catch my breath, And so I did that to myself. I can't blame that on anybody else but me, right? Because I wanted to get out here. I wanted Neveah's name out here. I wanted, the brand out here. So I was taking everything that was coming to me. But sometimes, guys, that's not the answer. So we talked about on previous shows multiple times, just saying no. It's okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to things that are not aligned with what you are trying to present or what you are trying to manifest for yourself and for your vision. Because if you are a leader, that means you have other people that you have to take into account for within that vision, right? So you want to be steering people in the right direction. You want to be steering people with the best intention that you can, the best intent at heart. And not to say that I'm perfect at all, but that's definitely what I lead with. I lead with my heart. And if it tells me, hey, give that a chance, give that a try, then I'm all about it. I'm all for it. And two, this week, a wonderful tidbit that I would love to share with everyone. We had a family wedding, and it was so beautiful. It was so amazing. This is another avenue that I want to discuss about, having multiple streams, not just of income, but of multiple streams of ways to get income, right? So if you're an artist, not just, recording music and then distributing it, but also understanding how to get out here and gig as an artist too, because a lot of artists don't know how to gig. They just get out there and get on platforms that might charge them to get on platforms, or just get into open mics and things like that. They don't realize that they can utilize that same gift for weddings, or corporate events, or it's a multitude of things that you can get into, even in other businesses, in other business avenues. So if you're an edibles individual, if you do edibles, or you do like edible arrangements that don't have any extras in it, such as THC or things like that. There's corporate events that always purchase those types of favors in bulk as well. So if you're a edibles individual, you have catering of any kind, things like that, reach out, because I do events, Cammy does events, I'm reaching out to different venues that do events as well and need catering. Other, again, weddings, I just did a wedding, they needed catering. So, just think outside the box. This is definitely one way that I did that, okay? I'm not necessarily doing a major Neveah experience, but, I can get into this wedding, maybe do this, do a song or two, and network with some people, of course. We never know who's in the building. We never know who we are around. So always presenting yourself as, like I said, the product, right? And went into the wedding, not even anticipating, just wanting to be there for, my family, just wanting to be, productive for my family. And got some great feedback from that. Got some other bookings from that. So, that's what I'm saying. It was just a wonderful week for me. And I love to share those things, because I'm telling you, it's a science to it, but I don't think everyone can follow the same formula. I think, in this you have to figure out your formula, but once you figure out your formula and figure out what works for you, it really does work for you, And shout out to the newlyweds, Jasmine, my cousin Jasmine, and Benny from Boston. That's my guy. That's my guy. So shout out to the Jones family. You guys are amazing. Congratulations on your nuptials, and much love, much prosperity to you guys. You guys are a true loving, family, and a loving couple, and I'm just honored that I was a part of your day. So thank you for having me. But yeah, guys, what are we always talking about here? I'm always talking about, just again, the process and how we attain that, or attain what we seek through that process, right? And for these last couple of weeks, I've just been having a lot of confirmations about certain things, a lot of encouragement from different perspectives, honestly. And now that I'm thinking about it, I take a moment to have retrospect a lot of the times, throughout my week and throughout my day. I try to have some retrospect and think about what I did throughout the week to better my circumstance, to better my chances of being booked at the next, Fillmore, or being the next opener at, for, whomever, or, what's my next, event space for the Neveah experience? Where can I get in and make some things happen? I'm always, just brainstorming and trying to figure out the next, the next move. And for me, I think, one of the main things that have really helped me in doing that is having a starting point. A lot of the times we see the vision, right? And we want to shoot right for the end, for the the glitz and the glamour of that vision, and we don't really pay attention to the details of what it's going to take to get to that. You know, I'm always an advocate of being overly prepared. My bandmates, you know, my family, they know that about me. I am always trying to be overly prepared. And that's not to say that, you know, I don't trust others or whatever the case may be. I just like to, when I come to a table, I like to come prepared not only to eat for myself, but to be able to feed everyone that might come across this table. You know, and if it's not a full meal, at least a snack. Hey, I couldn't have that for you, but at least I got this little piece of bread, you know, and it got a little peanut butter on there, a little bit of jelly too, you know, just a little corner, you know, so always just trying to be in some way, shape, or form fruitful, not just for itself, but for others, you know, involved as well. And I'm really, really seeing how that is unfolding into other blessings, you know, for not just Neveah, you know, and the brand, but in my personal life too, you know, just being able to be an example. I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm again, always trying to live in a constant state of gratitude. And again, that also helps with what we're talking about, you know, getting through the process. Because the process is, the hardest. It's the hardest thing because you don't, it can be so inconspicuous, right? Because you wanted to see the result, but you know what you have to do in order to get the result. You know, and sometimes you don't know what you have to do in order to get the result. You're just learning as you're going, right? So shout out to everybody that's just doing out there. Shout out to you guys that are really just, you know, making an effort and going for it. A couple of people that I know directly that are doing that and that I would like to speak on right now. Again, Lace by Lemon, she's doing that. Just out there, just doing, you know, just getting these clients. She has braiding specials right now. Y'all make sure y'all check her out on Facebook at Lace by Lemon. She has some specials out for the fall, so y'all get y'all braids done, get y'all hair did, get y'all face beat. You know, she's got all kind of things going on. Y'all check her out. So that's one, and I'm only saying that personally because I know her work. Her work is right here. I'm wearing it right now. So shout out to Lace by Lemon. Shout out to Charlie's Angels Beauty Bar. This is her work right here, the hair. So that I can speak to that. I can attest to that right now, right? So shout out to those individuals. Shout out to my guy Rich Poe. He's out of New Jersey. He has a studio out there, and they're doing huge things. Shout out to Corey Guns. They're doing some huge things, trying to bring some things down to the Charlotte area too. So shout out to them because they are doing. We are partnering on some things. He also does boxing, so I'm trying to get some of my boys into boxing. So again, if you guys, you know, have businesses, if you know, edibles, oils, you know, crystals. I know there's a lot of crystal vendors out there. You know, any designers, you know, reach out. Let's work, man. We've got a lot to do, and we've got a canvas ready to paint on. So, you know, and painters, you know, you artists that can spot paint, you know, do these amazing, you know, tapestry paintings or canvas paintings, you know, on site, on spot, you know, reach out because we would love to have you, you know, do something for the Neveah experience and something that, you know, incorporates what you're, you know, what you're doing and what you love as well. So, again, let's work together, guys. Let's work together to be great and get through these processes, you know, of success. And, you know, one thing that I truly, truly have been just honing on, you know, as far as how I would like to matriculate to others, you know, what things to really focus on and hone in on when trying to attain success, right? And whatever it is you're doing. You know, one main thing is know your business. I always say that, know your business. Back to front, front to back. Know your business. Because if you don't know your business, somebody else does know your business, and they will capitalize off that business, right? So know your business. Be mindful of your business. Don't mind other people's business so much. Mind yours, because that's where your income and your passive, right? Your passive income is going to come, and your wealth is going to come, right? By learning, by gaining the knowledge that you need in order to do and become financially free. That's what I think we're all trying to get to that point. So we have to what? Know the business. That's one. And then two, let's stop being in a box, right? We got to get outside of these boxes that we put ourselves in and dream and think huge. Not big, but huge. So if we want to, like I was saying, if we want to, start getting out there and getting our, brand recognized, getting our artistry recognized, we got to partner up with people. We got to partner up with people who have platforms, who have things already in the works, right? And also create whatever we can, whether that be content, whether that be, a reel of some sort that, is promoting who you are, what you do, whatever the case may be, getting yourself some momentum, right? Getting yourself some traction so that you have what? Leverage, right? To present to whomever you're trying to work with and whomever you want to work with. Again, that's maintaining your business. So these things work hand in hand with each other. So while maintaining your business, knowing your business, then dreaming huge. Don't just think inside this here box. Don't think box. Don't think in the square. Think outside that thing. Open that thing up. You know what I'm saying? See, open them four sides up and see what's inside the box. Then when you get what's inside the box, dissect that thing too and see what you can make out of that. And just keep going bigger. Keep going larger with everything that you think small about. Find a way to think of it on a broader scale. So if you're starting right here, right now, that's awesome. Continue to do that. And then once you get your ideas together, your motion together, then start putting that into action. That's honestly all it takes. Dream huge. And then that third one that I always speak to and I always attest to is never give up. Never give up. That is such a cliche statement, but it really holds weight. Because I don't know how many times I wanted to give up. I don't know how many times, I've had conversations with Kimmy plenty of times. Well, maybe not plenty of times, but I can recall a specific time that we've had a conversation. And I was just like, yo, I'm ready to give up on this. I'm ready to, maybe take another avenue of music. Maybe not, be in the forefront so much. Or maybe just step away from music altogether for a little while, and just let it go. Because it's not, leading to the results that I know I deserve. If I'm putting this type of work in, I'm doing these types of things, why am I not getting, and we can do that, right? We have those times where we get down on ourselves and we start thinking, well, dang, I'm not enough. I'm not doing enough. And maybe all that I am doing isn't enough to get me where I want to be. And that ain't, to me, that is not acceptable, for me. When I start thinking like that, I always have something that I turn to. And usually my something is, either, some inspiration from my mom or some inspiration from one of my influencers other than my mom. So like Whitney Houston, my one of the things that really helps me get into the zone and really helps me like stay moving forward is like getting into my Whitney zone. And when I say it's my Whitney zone, it's like, yo, even with all the things that Whitney had set up prior to her getting into the game, her mom took time with her. Before she put her out there, she took time with her. And she really, showed her, this is not, this is not for the weak. This is not something you can get into and think that it's just going to be handed to you because you're pretty and you got a nice voice. There's so many other things that come with it. And you have to understand grace. You have to understand how to, maneuver through any situation with grace. No matter if it's you want to cuss these people out, oh my God. You just want to tell these people how you feel, what you feel, when you feel. And it happens, man. I'm telling you, I have come across, I'm telling you. So I get it. But understanding that in your grace, you find your blessing. Your blessing comes with that grace. So even though you might have felt the need to tell this person about themselves, not telling them about themselves and letting them, figure that out on their own, because that's their responsibility, right? You're not accountable for their mess, and you don't have to receive their mess, and learning that and implementing it, not just knowing it though, because we know that as people, we do. We know, that people are going to try us. We know that people are going to, want their wants and needs met first, right? That's usually the case. I mean, we're human. Come on. I can be selfish at times as well. I don't think anybody is exempt from that. But I think the differentiation is when you know what that selfishness is and how it affects other people, and then you consciously make the decision to change that, right? And do it better or be better at it to make sure that you're not only being effective for yourself, but making sure that you're aware of the things that you're doing that could possibly be an effect to others. And then working on it to be a positive effect as opposed to a negative, right? And I think once we start working towards that preservation, once we work harder at that and really recognize that for what it is, because again, everything starts within. A lot of the things that we want, desire, need, or have a passion for, a lot of the times, where does it start? Right here, right? It starts right in your heart, right in your mind. Oh, I just saw this, or I just thought about this, and I want this to, be something that I do. How do I do that? It usually starts with you thinking, oh, I can go ahead and do, you see what I'm saying? So if you have it in you, and you know that already, so you know you can produce it if you have it in you, but are you willing to do what it takes in order to be able to produce it? So that's what we always like to talk about. That's what we always like to present to the group and to the listeners is, how do we create a dialogue that is going to be beneficial for people to not only be in the process, but within the process, learn how to finagle through it. And when I say finagle, I don't mean just get through it, just stumble through it and just barely making it. No, I mean finagling, because sometimes you got to pivot. Sometimes you have to stop what you're doing and change it all together. Sometimes, you have to take the idea that you had and then revamp it, and make it something even bigger than what you thought it was going to be, because that small scale stuff just ain't going to work, and that's okay. Small scale is not always where you have to start. Sometimes you do need to start at the bigger scale, so then you can scale back, and figure out how to make that bigger scale productive. Because at the end of the day, we all have the ability to be super great, right? We all have the ability to make our wants, come to manifestation. We all have the ability to manifest. We do. And we just have to really be steadfast in it. And I think once we get that confidence back, as people, once we get that confidence and that real integrity back in the things that we're doing. I know for my mom's generation, my grandparents' generation, they had that integrity with this, with their work ethic. If they did something and their name was on it, they didn't want no mess. They didn't want it. They wanted it to be as great as it could be, because their name was more important than the money. Their brand was more important than the dollar amount. And if we can get back to that and really walk in that and live in that, I think everything that we are seeing right now, this inflation, everything rising, not just the inflation side, when we talk about, other countries, not really wanting to deal with America right now. And that's because of our commerce, right? That's because of our capitalistic values, right? And sometimes our overly capitalistic values. And this is just facts. We can go to any history book. We can go to any, dictionary and see the word capitalism, okay? So we're not speaking anything that is not true. And I think once we can kind of pull back from that and start to really think about, why are we doing this? Are we doing this just to get the money? And trust me, I get it. We're like that now because, again, everything is rising, so we're trying to keep up, right? We have families, we have aspirations, we have houses, we have cars. All of this stuff costs. So we have to have, some way to pay for these things, and I get it. But at the end of the day, if we're business owners, right, and we're the community builders, we're small business owners, things like that, that's the community. We've got to have some type of integrity. We've got to have some type of morality about it. We've got to have some type of respect for each other and for each other's business, right? And if you see someone working hard and you see somebody that's going, at a pace that might be outside of your pace, leave them people alone. Let the people be at their pace, and you create your own pace. And then when you feel like you can match that or meet that, bring something to that table, then let's make that approach, and have all your ducks in a row. Have your business plan, have your sponsorship packets, or have your, whatever it is that you do, have it ready, to present to those, even if they not even if they're not at that level yet, or if they're not there yet, at least still have it, because then maybe you can show them how to do that. Then by bringing those two entities together, you never know what you can do. You know, you never know what this person or who this person knows, because a lot of it is who you know, not what you know, right? So you never know who you're in a room with. You never know who you're talking to, shaking hands with. So always just be prepared. Be overly prepared, right? That's what we're talking about. Be overly prepared, being ready to knock the process out the park, right? Not just meet the expectations of the process, but knocking it out the park so that there's not just one result coming from the hard work that you did. There's a multitude, right? So you're busy up until the next time you need to not be busy. You see what I'm saying? So then you can have some time to rejuvenate, get yourself together, and be comfortable in that rejuvenation. And then get back out there and utilize those same resources to get yourself another push. You know, that's what it's all about. And there was something else that I wanted to present to everybody today, too. A book that I've been reading. I brought my first book in a couple of weeks ago, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, the 3 Things Successful People Do, by Jordan Maxwell, or John Maxwell, excuse me. So I hope you guys got a copy of that, because that book is amazing. This book here is the Indie Bible, though. So for all you artists, you know, event planners, people that, you know, have businesses tailored around event needs, this is the book. So this provides so many resources, and not just national resources, but global resources. So we've got access to radio stations in Europe, you know, Australia, just through this book. You know, just being able to send whatever your product might be. You can even do advertisements. They have that here, right here in this book. So just having resources. And you guys, again, this is the Indie Bible, and it's the 7th edition. This is by David Wimbles. There's a couple of these editions, though. So, I mean, you can get any one of them. And if you reach out to me, I'll photocopy some of the sheets for you if I need to. You know, within the book, if you can't get access to it, that's okay. But this book was actually gifted to me by a young lady that, shout out to Miss Rose. She's actually in Boston, Mass. She came to one of my shows there, and she reached out to my team and got this book to me. Wonderful lady. I don't know you, Miss Rose, but thank you. I always like to just shout out those who have impacted my life or helped me in any type of way. Miss Rose, thank you for this book. And again, I hope to meet you when I come back to Boston. Hopefully you'll be at the next show. And I definitely want to get a meet and greet with you. You know, so Miss Rose, shout out to you if you catch this in any way, shape, or form. If you're on my IG or anything like that, I got you. Thank you again for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But guys, if you need a copy of this, again, I've got so many different avenues of radio, not just radio, but journalists. So there's magazine companies in here. There's options for merchandise. So one awesome thing, one good tidbit that I found in here is I'm always looking for different ways to market, you know, my music and market my actual packaging, right, of my music, because this matters. It matters a lot. And especially if you're asking for, you know, a dollar amount in exchange for this. You know, you want it to be something that people are going to say, okay, I'm glad that I spent my money on that, right? So I say that to say they have so many different options in here for product placement, for ways to get your product out there. So prime example for me, artists, right? Any artists out there, if you do CDs still, which I hope that you are. You shouldn't just be doing one form, digital or USBs or things like that. You should have CDs still. People still have CD players. Don't short yourself. I sell these more than I sell, you know, my scanners, my scan barcodes that lead to my, you know, Apple and stuff like that. I sell more of these face-to-face than I do that. So don't sleep on those. But I have a source in here that does vinyl. Like, come on. And they were talking about in here how to sell your vinyl. Not just, you know, make the vinyl, but they have a marketing plan in here for you that shows you how to sell your vinyl and then which stores will let you go in and put them in the stores. Like, this thing is amazing. So that could not only go for CDs, but that could go for like your shirts, you know, if you have a clothing line, things like that. This book can help with that. So if you're just an independent anything, business, if you're an independent, you know, artist, if you're an independent, you know, contractor in any way, shape, or form, this book can help. It really can. So please DM me if you want a copy of this, or if you need some photocopies of something in here. Please DM me. I'm more than happy to help. Again, IG, Neveah, NEVEAH_OTR. And you can also find this book on Amazon. I think it's like $30 on Amazon. That's for one of the older editions, but it starts at $30. And I think that's great for the plethora of information that comes in this. I mean, if you're not using this as an indie artist, you're kind of making it hard for yourself. I ain't gonna lie, because I was making it hard for myself. So again, shout out to Rose for this awesome gift. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you if you come into the show in Boston. I'm going to find a way to find you, Rose. My team has some type of information for you, I'm sure. So I'll find you, sis. Thank you again. But yeah, guys, again, process. Let's stay on that topic. Let's stay with that in our minds, heavy, our process, and what we're coming up on a need for a vision board. We had one, I think, last month, or maybe the month before. So I want to get a vision board in within the next couple weeks with you guys, so we can talk about how we're going to get to our next level, right? Because we want to get to the next level. We don't want to be stagnant. We don't want to be doing the same things, and expecting different results, because that's not it. That's actually, by definition, insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting different results. So let's not, drive ourselves insane. Let's work on collectively putting these vision boards together, and then putting these vision boards to use, and making sure that the things that we put on there, actually we are making them come to fruition. We're manifesting them into physical form, because we can do it. Guys, I'm an advocate for you. I'm an advocate for us, and I'm an advocate for we. So let's always remember that, and let's implement that in our everyday lives, and our everyday movements, and our everyday actions. Let's lead from the here, not so much from here. Let's lead from the heart, and let's make sure that the things that we're doing are things that can come back to us in a positive way, right? Because karma, or whatever you want to call it, I'm not so much of a religious person, but I am very spiritual. So karma to me is very important. I'm always thinking about how I'm being received, because that is important. You want to be received in a way that is of not only high caliber, but as a person that is trustworthy, right? As trustworthy and can show up. And I think that's what we're missing a lot these days, is people that really show up. Say it, mean it, and do it. And I encourage everyone out there to be people, men and women of your word. If you can do that, really, that's honestly the toughest feat. Just being able to do what you say. And I understand how hard it can be, because life's, right? Life is life. And it can take so many different turns just out the blue. Cars be getting messed up, accidents be happening, you miss your you miss your train, you miss your paychecks be all of a sudden missing. These companies that these days, they just doing whatever they want, right? I don't know how they're getting away with it, but it's happening. So I get it. Things are happening out here. But again, let's not make excuses. Let's not be an excuse. Let's be about what we got. Like I said, be over prepared. So if you got a show coming next month, if you got rehearsals coming up for that, plan for that ahead of time. If you got, an order that is in 2 weeks, your contractor, you got an order that needs to be out in 2 weeks, go ahead and get that knocked out now. Get your 2 weeks, be 2 weeks ahead. Start that practice now, if you haven't been doing that. I love to do that. I'd love to make sure that I'm at least a month out with the things that I have prepared. My next show shouldn't be my next major show. I should have a month in between, so I can promote, have time to rehearse appropriately, put people in the right state of mind for what's coming. These are the things that you want to do. Give yourself time. You know who you are. You know what you're capable of. And you don't have to push yourself. You don't have to go, but go at your own pace, set your pace, and just do it. That's it. That is honestly the most intermediate way I can put it. Set your goals, make them realistic, and just do it. And you'll start seeing so many different changes in your life, and so quickly. Like I can honestly say, this year, I made a lot of changes. I put forth a lot of things that I didn't want to do. I had to let go of some people. I had to, drop some weight. I had to shed some things, even some things that I had in place that just weren't working. It wasn't working. Strategies that I thought were really good strategies just started to seem like they were a little dated. So sometimes, again, you have to go back to the drawing board and just say, okay, hey, well, that didn't work out that time. Why didn't that work out? If people aren't coming to the shows, why aren't they coming to the shows? Is it something that I could have done differently? Is it something that I could have, put in or put out better? So, again, let's not try to blame other people for what's going on. How people just didn't come to my stuff. I didn't see nobody didn't nobody want to hire me at the event. Let's not think like that, because things aren't happening to you. They're not. They're not happening to you unless you allow it to happen to you, right? An opinion does not matter unless you allow it to matter. Right? So accountability, guys, staying focused on that, and then learning how to apply what matters to us, right? And not so much what the world or what society expects from us, but what we want society to see from us, right? It starts within. So again, we had a great conversation today about what? Process, productivity, integrity, motivation, how to get yourself out there, being proactive, being overly prepared, right? And the things that we want to see in our lives. Because at the end of the day, what we want to see can be more than more than we could ever anticipate. If we just follow the steps, man. And it's basic steps. And honestly, you have to be willing to put those steps in order. Anybody can give you the steps, but you have to put them in order according to your goals, according to the things that you want to achieve, right? One person's formula might not work for the other person, but you might be able to use some of the pieces from that formula, right? To establish your own formula and then start moving in that. So, guys, let's stop using each other as our precipice and start looking at ourselves and saying, okay, this is what I got. And this is what I'm going to go ahead and go after. And then let me go see if I can meet with this person and bring that to them and see if we can work together, right? Again, a village. It takes a village. So last week, we're getting to our wrap-up time. So I want to get on to last week's discussion about the young lady that reached out to me in regards to some events and things that she was, planning and trying to work on. Again, she saw my efforts and things that I was doing and reached out in regards to issues she was having with attaining some of the things that I've been able to attain. And I think we called this I called it a segment. I might rename it because I don't remember, I don't remember the name of the segment at this time, but that's all right. It's still pertinent, I think, and it's still a learning lesson, so we'll still utilize it. For right now, it'll be the segment, and then we'll recap on it. But I had a chance to really talk with her and get to some conclusions this week, which is actually wonderful. And I actually told her that I discussed it on the radio show, and she was really excited about that because she wants the feedback. And that too, I think, is important too. Just being open to receive feedback. Don't put yourself out there and then be upset with what you receive. If you receive some criticism, don't be upset about that. Receive that because, you never know. And again, an opinion only matters if you let it, right? So if it applies to you, if it's aligning with you, use it and allow it to fuel you. But if it doesn't align, that's okay. Okay, I agree, or I agree to disagree, right? And then just keep it moving. That's all. So with this young lady, I kind of actually had to speak that kind of encouragement into her because she was really let down by the person that she was working with, according to her. I don't know the intricacies, but according to what she stated. So she was looking for a venue. She reached out to someone months ahead of time, in this regard, and paid a finder's fee for the venues and everything, with the young lady. And she was really hoping that, she would have what she needed by the time of her event. Well before the time of her event. She's reaching out, she said 2 months ahead of time, so she was hoping to have that squared away within 2 to 3 weeks, right? So she had plenty of time to promote, get the thing set up. So she wasn't getting much feedback from the young lady that she was working with. That's one. Then two, she was doing all of the initiation for, reaching out to find out the status and things like that. So her question to me, was, should she sue the young ladies for her money, for the money that she invested? Because this whole time she was paying finder's fees, and to this lady to get, what she requested, which is a venue. So she's paid, a significant amount at this point. And she had gotten to within a month of her event and still no, conversation about finding the venue, no conversation about, if anybody was willing to book for a venue at least. So, and this young lady, she's an amazing woman. She does events, all types of events. She does fashion shows. She does youth events. She does talent shows for the youth. She does open mics. So she's a great source. She does hiring events for companies, for small businesses, for staffing companies. So she's an amazing resource. And I'm going to speak with her and see if she'll at some point want me to drop her tag in here, and hopefully you guys can utilize her as a resource as well. But nonetheless, so her question to me was, should she sue this young lady, take her to court because she's already invested a lot of money and she still didn't have what she needed. Now she had to hire somebody else, to work with to try to get that taken care of. She said, two, should she just, again, go out and start, try to find a venue, any venue that she can get at this point and just pay for the venue, pay an additional cost? Or three, should she just reschedule the event altogether, and just try to aim for something, different next year? Or when, at a time where it's more feasible for her, in her budget. So all three options to me are valid, and I explained this to the young lady, my breakdown in this regard was, one, with the first option, which is, take the young lady to court. Okay, so you're already in, the investment wise, you're already in this. And we all know to file anything downtown costs. No matter what court you're filing it in, it is costly to file, right? So we got to think about your already investment, because you're already in, a certain amount. So you're going to be adding more to that investment by, filing, especially, and then if you're going to, get a lawyer, if you're not going to take this case on your own, you're going to have to hire a lawyer, an entertainment or whatever type of lawyer, usually it's a contract lawyer for this type of stuff, based on, if they had a verbal contract or if they had a written contract, all of that. So usually it's that type of lawyer. And that can be costly. Retainer fees can be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on what what's going on with your case. So that's another, fee or another amount of dollars that she's gonna have to put in investment wise, in order to get back what she already put in. So that was one thing that I pinpointed to this young lady in that regard, and I gave her some great feedback for all options, because I'm never going to tell you what you should do. I'm not ever going to just say, hey, you should, because my solution might not be the best solution for your situation, right? I know what would be great for my situation, but for your situation, I can't tell you that. I can't count your pockets for you. I can't tell you your trajectory for your business, right, and where you want it to be. You have to know that for yourself. So that was my feedback in that regard. You're going to have to put in more money to get out, the money that you already put in. So you might be even further down in the hole, if you take that route. Next route was option two for her was, to just go out and start trying to find another venue on her own, reach out to some resources of her own. That's always great if you have that, but it can also be costly as well, because if it's a short notice, you might have a higher cost to rent out the venue, right? They might not be willing to do a bar split or a door split with you or something like that if it's a venue or if it's a event that's really close, close to the date. Because of course the venue wants to make money too, right? So you have to have time to market and all of that. So that's definitely a valid option, but again, as I explained to her, you're going to have to think about your date wise and what these people are going to ask for in regards to renting the space, or what it's going to entail to do that. Then the third thing was to push it out, to push it back, either 2 months or to next year, maybe the first part of latter part of next year, just to get a better momentum and get more grounds with having an actual place to host it, right? Because that's important. You got to have somewhere to have the event. So what our end result was, what I suggested, and I've done this plenty of times, and this is the great thing about being an event planner and having your own, branding attached. Timing can be yours, right? You don't have to rush anything. You don't have to do anything. You have to do things when you're on a job, right? You're on a 9 to 5 and you have a deadline, right? They expect that deadline to be met when they say for it to be met, right? With your own, contracting, your own events, things like that, you set the pace. You set the guidelines for what you need and what you want in that. So my suggestion to her was number 3. Take your time. Go ahead and set that back, because then that gives you a little bit more time to recoup the money that you already invested. That gives you a little more time to find a way to recoup that. That's for 1. And then 2, that gives you some cushion so that once you do find the space, you still have time to promote. You have to have time to market and promote this thing in a valid way, in a way that's going to be impactful. So that was my suggestion to this young lady. I also provided some resources to her. I also took some stuff out of the Indie Bible, some resources from here, shot them over to her, gave her some resources as far as some advertisements, and they have free advertisement in here, not just, advertisement that you have to pay for. But I just shot some ideas in her, to her. Hey, go ahead and start promoting your brand at least. Go ahead and start promoting the event brand so that people in this area, or people in the area that you're going to have the event in, can start being familiar with hearing that brand name. So then once they start seeing your flyers and start seeing, your location and things, they can put 2 and 2 together. It's not just willy-nilly, I'm throwing this event out there, I want you guys to be there. You see what I'm saying? There's ways to do it. There's ways that you can be productive right now, even if you don't have all your ducks in a row, right? Even if you don't have everything that you need in that moment. We can't allow other people to deter us from where we're trying to go or what we're trying to get to. Okay, that person, wasn't right about theirs. Okay, that's their cross to bear. No need to get upset. No need to get angry. At some point, they'll reap that. Everything you reap, you sow. Whether it's good or positive. Or, good or bad or positive or negative, right? You reap it. You're going to reap it if you sow it. So, that was another conversation that we had. Don't count that. Don't be counting your what you think is a loss. Don't do that, because there are no losses unless you allow it to be a loss, right? There's the lessons, but there's no losses. There's no failures. There's room for improvement. There's room for learning. There's room for lessons. So let's utilize those lessons. And again, what are we doing? Trying to find ways to better our process and get us to the end result in a successful way. That is not only monetarily successful, but is successful in a way that is helping others and producing something that is of value, right? So guys, we're on the wrap up. That's our show for this week. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. We'll have something new next week. We'll have a segment next week, have something new to talk about and to discuss, have some homework for you guys. And I might take some things out of this Indie Bible for next week and just give you guys some resources out of there, some artists and some business owners, give you guys some resources and some contacts to talk to. If you're wanting some advertisements, some free advertisements, some free radio spins, things like that. And you guys definitely reach out to CMVA 107.5 FM, because we also have, of course, radio spins. We've got, interviews available. So get your packaging together and let us know what you want to do, and we can definitely have you on the show. And definitely get you some advertisement on the show as well. I can't say that it'll be free, I can't say that, but I can say that it'll be some great exposure, right? And that's what we all need. We all need and want that exposure. So, hey, what we want out of life sometimes costs, but it's about the result of what we put in, right? We want the results to match what we put in. That's what matters. So guys, thank you so much for rocking with Neveah, the Hustle and Brand Show. Every Thursday we are here 7:30 p.m. So make sure you're checking in with us. Again, CMVA 1075 FM.com. All right. And the Odyssey, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Odyssey? Yeah, the Odyssey app. Make sure you guys download that and follow us there as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's your girl Neveah. We're out of here.
Beautiful.
Sweet. Beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.